What's going on, guys? I'm Jada Black. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about a story out of St. Louis. It's about a 35-year-old woman by the name of Damesha Coleman. Damesha was reportedly carjacked or had her car stolen, and she tracked down the guy that stole it. It was a 19-year-old by the name of Darius Jackson. And they got into a shootout. Not only did she bring the firepower, she brought someone with her to help her. And she was caught on video surveillance. All because she got her car stolen. And what ended up happening is there was a man, and he's on the screen here, by the name of Joseph Farrar. He was 49 years old. A guy who went through a lot of things in his life, dealt with a lot of different things. He ended up being an innocent bystander and losing his life as an innocent bystander. A guy that had nothing to do with this. Nothing. And then there also was a third guy that was struck as well in this quote unquote shootout. And I saw some comments on Facebook. I saw some comments, I believe, on a Reddit post, or it was one of these particular sites. And I saw that there were people saying, she should be freed. You can't tell people how to act when they're upset. She was carjacked. This guy should have never took her car. You got to be careful who you're dealing with. I understand all of that. I really do. But at the end of the day, 3 men were shot. 2 of them died, and it was all due to her actions. Because if you were able to track this person down, you should have called the police. But instead of you calling the police, you went and got some weapons. You went and got a partner, and you went to confront this guy because ain't nobody gonna steal from you. And you chose your fate. And let me say this too, before I get into this particular article. This woman is going to be convicted, because if she isn't, and she's allowed to walk free, this is going to set a bad precedent for future cases of people seeking vigilante justice. You can't just go and seek revenge by ending someone's life, because that's exactly what she did. It's no different than when you have gang members do drive-bys and innocent people lose their life. Nobody's making excuses for those gang members. Those gang members could have been robbed. They could have had their friends or family, killed or, beaten up or robbed by, rivals, right? And when they go to seek revenge, nobody is saying that person should be let out. No one's saying that person had a reason to seek justice. You get justice through the criminal courts, to the criminal justice system. You cannot go out there seeking revenge. But I'm noticing, especially from a lot of women, they're okay with this. Even though 3 men were shot, 2 lost their life. 2 of them, I believe, was innocent bystander. At least one of them. I don't know about the other guy. They haven't really clarified. Because of her reckless behavior, and you're telling me that this person should be let out. If she is, it's going to set a bad precedent, and this case is going to be used in other cases where people just seek revenge just cause. So let's get into this article from the St. Louis Today, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, excuse me. A St. Louis woman is facing charges tracked down her stolen Hyundai to a gas station and took the lives of 2 men during a shootout. Once again, this woman was extremely reckless. This was a reckless thing to do, and more people could have got hurt due to this woman's reckless behavior. Police said Damesha Coleman, who was 35, was charged Thursday in the deaths of Darius Jackson, who was 19, and Joseph Farrar, who was 49. They were both struck dead outside a Speedy Gas near North Broadway Street and Riverview Boulevard just after 10:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Another man was shot in the head but survived. Again, reckless behavior. It was not immediately clear which, if any, of the three men were suspected of stealing the Hyundai. It was I believe it was the 19-year-old. Coleman was captured on surveillance footage walking up to the Hyundai Tucson in the gas station parking lot. A detective wrote that she was with a man police have not publicly identified, but officers said they were both carrying weapons. It probably was a boyfriend or a husband. She's seen opening the front passenger door of the Tucson with her weapon raised, while the man opens the driver's side door with his weapon raised, like they the police. Police wrote, Coleman opened fire and the shootout followed. Coleman of Spanish Lake area of St. Louis County told detectives during a recorded interview that she went to the gas station to take her stolen car back when then identified herself on the footage. According to the court documents, Farrar was struck in the torso and police found him next to a gas pump. Jackson was on the ground next to the Tucson and also had been struck in the torso, police wrote. A third man was found on a far end of the gas station parking lot and had been struck in the head. On the far end, people, the far end, and was taken to Barnes Jewish Hospital. Coleman was charged with 2 counts, murder, 1 count of assault, and 3 counts of armed criminal action in the shooting. She had no prior criminal history. Wednesday's incident marked the latest incident of victims tracking down their stolen vehicles as a number of Kia and Hyundai thieves surged in the St. Louis region. On Halloween, police say a man used GPS to track down a family member's stolen car in Sunset Hills and struck at the suspects on U.S. Highway 40. Once again, we got vigilantes all over the place. The man and some of the thieves suspected were arrested. That same day, 2 teenage boys were struck after stealing a woman's Kia from her home in North St. Louis. The woman tracked down her stolen car to 2 different locations before the teens were struck, and police said it was unclear who did the shooting. Oh, come on, man. You know who did it. You know, she got somebody to do it. And earlier this month, a 43-year-old man was struck and lost his life outside of a gas station while confronting teenagers he believed had stolen his vehicle. What's up with all this vigilante going on in St. Louis, right? We know the history that went on over there, not too far from St. Louis, you know? Okay. Rates of stolen Kias and Hyundais have exploded this year. A trend has seen nationally because of a viral TikTok video that shows how to break into and drive off in the South Korean-made vehicles using just a screwdriver and a USB charging cable. The method can be used on some models of these cars because manufacturers did not install the engine immobilizers and electronic anti-theft security device. The thefts have overwhelmed the city's police department. The St. Louis City Councilor Sheena Hamilton sent a letter August to Kia and Hyundai demanding the companies take responsibility for the thefts and threatened a lawsuit over the defect. I want to get to what Joseph's family had to say, because the family forgave her. Of course, you know, we as black people were very forgiving, right? To the people that do us the dirtiest. See, every victim has a story, and Joseph Farrar was one of the redemption cut short. Police and family members say he was an innocent bystander who lost his life through a straight bullet stemming from a shootout between an alleged car thief victim and the woman she believes stole her car. Damesha Coleman is now charged with Farrar's death, along with 19-year-old Darius Jackson, who was sitting inside the Hyundai Tucson at a speedy gas station at North Broadway in Riverview at 10:30 p.m. I don't know why he was just sitting at the gas station chilling after you just took this car, And it's also the reason why I read the other article is because he didn't carjack her. It was clear that he broke into her car like other cars have been broken into. She wasn't carjacked. So it wasn't like he just held her up and just took her car. No, he just stole it. And she wanted it back by force. Somebody else's mess killed my brother, said Michelle Jackson, the youngest of the Ferrara 4 siblings. Joseph was 49, was at a gas station hoping to buy some medicine for his 11-year-old son. So she took her father away from his son, who had been diagnosed with the flu earlier in the day. Police found him unresponsive near a gas pump. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now his siblings are clinging to the progress that brother made in the months before his passing to cope with this loss. They gathered at Michelle Jackson's home in Hazelwood Thursday to share memories of their brother with 5 on your side. We told him that we were proud of him and that we saw it. We seeing what you're doing. You look good. You sound good. We're impressed with the way you live your life now, Michelle Jackson said. It wasn't always that way. When Joseph was 18, his mother died. People thought because he was 18, he was a lot more grown up than he really was. So they weren't really willing to take him in as much as they were me because I was only 7, Michelle Jackson said. His 3 other siblings were older than him and on their own, so the streets took him in, so he began to battle addiction. The crime that came along with it landed him in and out of prison for most of his life. His family said he had 2 sons, 26-year-old Justin and 11-year-old Joseph Jr. along the way. Even though he let his family down through the years, his siblings said they could never stay mad at him. He would just make you laugh, Michelle Jackson said. The night he lost his life, he joked with his sister, who told him she was sorry she missed an earlier call from him because she had been in the shower. He told me a brother does not need to know when his sister is in the shower. Donna Connor recalled, laughing with her siblings. The last time Joseph got out of the penitentiary was October 2021. So he had just, been released from prison last year. He told his siblings that he had been sober since October 2019 when he went in. Something about his release this time seemed different. They said he got a job at a steel company, a car, and a place of his own. This last time he was incarcerated, I guess he made a decision to do better, and he stood on that when he came home. Michelle said his family was most proud of how he was doing as a father. His last act in his life was trying to find a way to make one of them feel better. He went to a grocery store looking for medicine for his son first, but it was closed, Michelle Jackson said. In keeping with his sense of humor and flirtation side, he cut a phone call with his sister, Donna, short to escort a woman who caught his eye to her car at the gas station. I said, don't nobody want you, Connor recalled telling her brother. He said, watch me, I'm the Mac. That was the last time she heard from him. Police found another man with a wound to the head at the far end of the gas station parking lot where Joseph lost his life. They believe that the man was also struck by a stray bullet from a shootout between Coleman and an unknown armed man who came to help her and the man inside the stolen car. That victim was taken to the hospital and condition remains unknown. Coleman has been charged with 6 offenses, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, and the judge ordered her to be held without bail. So that judge ain't playing. She has no prior criminal history according to court documents, but we've seen that doesn't matter. Joseph's family members say they're not mad at Coleman. I wish that she would have contacted the authorities, but I understand, Michelle Jackson said. I will be more mad with the guys that stole her car to put her in that situation, because we're all just one decision away from something like that, making the wrong choice, because when things happen, we don't always think it's just a reaction. That's what we all say, right? So when a man smacks his wife because she cheated on him, is he making a split-second decision? I just want to know, how far does this go? This is not a woman who lacks her mental capacity. This is not a career criminal. She's never been in trouble with the law ever in her life. So why would you go and get a weapon all of a sudden to go handle out street justice? It's because she's always had it in her. Now I see what the family is saying and they forgive her, which is, or they're not mad at her, right? But at the end of the day, two people are no longer here. A father is no longer here due to her actions. Yeah, we can't tell people what to do, but I'm just saying right now, if a man's wife cheats on him and he smacks her, we didn't know he would do that. Like, people have to be accountable for her. People act like, she just had, she was just, walking around with, weapons on her and just said, you know what, let's go. No, I'm saying this was her thinking this out, realizing where they were, getting another person to come with her to do the deed. Their bodies here. You can't ignore that. Now, there are going to be people that's going to try to ignore that, but you just can't, because this is egregious. And they find grace in knowing their brother's addiction isn't what claimed his life. I was always afraid that I would get that call, his older brother Christopher said, and those fears were eased during the more than a year of sobriety his brother accomplished while no longer behind bars. And when they told me, I need to talk to you, it's about your brother, I couldn't believe it, Joseph said. He pushed himself to be better, and it means a lot that it didn't have anything to do with him, Michelle Jackson said, tears welling in her eyes. I'm just happy that my brother was able to be himself and be the man he wanted to be, even though it was cut short. This is sad, man. It really is. And I hope the family gets justice, whether they see her point of view or not. We'll see what happens once she goes to trial, if they still feel that same way. But ultimately, somebody has to be accountable for this. This is a mess. Somebody has to be accountable. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.